Now, from the one to turn to for news.
Donald Trump was trumpeted for his work restoring a Palm Beach home.
You're watching WPBF Eyewitness News 25 at 6.
Now Donald Trump is being honored for his work.
We're watching WFLX, Fox 29.
Donald Trump is getting praise for restoring a Palm Beach home.
Mar-a-Lago, from sea to lake, the jewel of Palm Beach, formerly the oceanfront estate of Marjorie Merriweather Post and E.F. Hutton, built in the early 1920s. Today, this 18-acre, 110-room villa is the only national landmark designated by Congress in the state of Florida. In 1985, Donald J. Trump acquired Mar-a-Lago and used it as a private residence until 1995, when he converted it into a prestigious private club, all the while continuing to use the property as a winter home still today. The evolution of Palm Beach architecture from the Gilded Age to what one town official calls the Platinum Age of today reflects the demeanor of a town built for pleasure. No one house typifies this more than Mar-a-Lago, the grandest and most elaborate of all Palm Beach estates. In 1923, heiress Marjorie Merriweather Post retained Marianne Waite, a classically trained architect, to design a Mediterranean-inspired estate. But for all of Waite's restrained classicism, Post felt something was amiss. That's when she brought in Joseph Urban to lend an element of theatricality to the estate. Waite disassociated himself from the project. As a result, there is very little of Waite's rational and honest approach to architecture in Mar-a-Lago. Urban's signature, on the other hand, is evident everywhere. The house had 800 windows and doors, 42 bedrooms, and 21 baths, to say nothing of the elaborate gilding, intricate tile work, murals, columns, and the famous 1,000-wing ceiling. The home, unmistakably, reflected the extravagant, entertaining lifestyle Mrs. Post was noted for among all the social circles. It was only natural that Donald Trump become the home's next resident. His flamboyance, lavishness, and passion for entertaining was the perfect match for Mar-a-Lago's purpose. After Mrs. Post's passing, the property was left to the United States government to be used as a presidential retreat. After years of study, it was determined that the estate would be too costly to restore and maintain. A deal was then pursued with a developer who planned to demolish Mar-a-Lago, divide the land, and construct a number of smaller homes. Mr. Trump was determined to stop this blunder. Using his art of making the deal philosophy, he stopped the proposed development and acquired the property for himself.
I want to tell you that, and I call it the saving of a lot of people, but the saving of Mar-a-Lago has been one of the great experiences of my life. As you know, prior to my purchase in 1885, there was a group that had an option on Mar-a-Lago, and they were going to rip Mar-a-Lago down and build approximately 12 houses on the site. And the town was appalled, in all fairness to the town. I was appalled. And when that contract didn't go through with a little help from me, it's tough to make somebody else's contract not go through, but sometimes you do that. Sometimes you play dirty in life. I snatched it, and everyone thinks I made a great deal. If they only knew how much money I put in, they'd probably say, what a terrible deal that was. But Mar-a-Lago has been a labor of love. I've spent a lot of great time here with Melania and so many of my friends, and we just fall in love. It's a magical place. So I believe that if Mrs. Post came back right now, and her husband, the great E.F. Hutton, they would be very, very happy to see this house packed with not only you folks, but if you go down to the courts and if you go over to the spa, it's really become a great party place and a happy place. And that's what she wanted it to be. So she would be.
On February 24th, 2001, the Florida Society of the American Institute of Building Design recognized Donald Trump for his efforts in preserving a historical landmark. After a leisurely drive through the beautiful island of Palm Beach, the society arrived at the front entry of Mar-a-Lago. After a short pause to allow Mr. Regis Philbin to finish his breakfast, they were escorted to the patio and served a light brunch where Mr. Trump met them to receive his award. At that time, Barbara Nick and Steve Mickley, the Society President and Vice President, presented Mr. Trump with an award commemorating his commitment to historical preservation and his meticulous detail everywhere in the overwhelming task of restoring the former Post estate to its original splendor. After the ceremony, everyone enjoyed a tour of the home and its grounds. In addition, plans and models were presented for projects presently under construction. A beach club resembling one built by Mrs. Post and a new $1 million, 11,000 square foot private party pavilion have been approved by Palm Beach and the AIBD. Members were among the first to heed these announcements. As part of the tour, the society was invited to meet celebrities Michael Milken, Tony Bennett, and Regis Philbin, while enjoying Saturday morning at the tennis courts. At the tour's completion, the members of the Florida Society were transported to the Trump International Golf Course, where they were given a tour of the $40 million facility under construction. Their vision for the future was witnessed as members learned about fast-track construction, techniques implemented by Mr. Trump and his staff. The Florida Society of the American Institute of Building Design appreciates Mr. Trump's commitment to historical restoration and his gracious hospitality while they were his guests. The February 2001 AIBD meeting in Palm Beach, Florida, is one that everyone in attendance will always remember.